Right. Well. What's happening, everybody? Yours truly, Xavier Smith. Welcome. I am your host and master of solutions. And if you are interested in finding out about all the good things going on in the neighborhood, here is what I want you to do. I want you to stay tuned because I'm going to be talking to my gal, Nancy Haggerty. We're going to be talking about all things good in the neighborhood and beyond. So, if you're into that, here's what I want you to do. Stay tuned. Welcome back. I am your host and master of solutions, Xavier Smith, and we're going to dive right into it because who likes having their time wasted? I've got Nancy Haggerty, and she is, well, let's just let her I'm going to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself, but tell the world and everybody that might be listening who you are and what you have going on, and let us know a little bit about you, Nancy.
Yeah. Thank you, Xavier, so much for inviting me to join you this morning. It's an honor and a
Yes.
privilege to be here. And yes, I'm absolutely thrilled to talk to you about how we've rebranded Nancy's Closet into what I call a Single Moms Coalition. Our organization exists to help mom warriors find their village one connection at a time. And
Hmm.
whether that's through a resource, service, guidance, or a much needed friendship to link arms with, we do it through our e-commerce marketplace and local community events. It's our way of letting our mom warriors, aka single moms, know that we're here for them.
Perfect. As a matter of fact, I think I might have that screen pulled up, and let me just hit that
Awesome.
share button,
Let's see it.
and let's see what we are talking about. Boom,
There it is.
right
Yes.
there. So this is the result of you rebranding, repurposing, and finding a deeper mission to help out those single moms. Is that correct?
It is. Absolutely.
Awesome, awesome. So let's talk about the who, and we're getting right into it because who
Yeah.
is this for is my next question, and I think you just answered that. So let's dive a little bit deeper as to who might this be a perfect fit for.
Yeah, you bet. So predominantly, so it's single parents, but predominantly, moms. But
Mhm.
we do help dads. I was raised by a single dad, so I get it. So in the 8+ years that we facilitated Nancy's Closet, we did a lot of good. But the common denominator, Xavier, that we saw was God kept sending me single moms, and
Yeah,
I ended up ministering to them and finding out what the needs were. So the clothes and the footwear and the accessories were great, but that was only, solving one problem. Uh,
okay.
the solution was finding putting together a coalition of vendors. I mean, if we know so many quality professionals out in the valley, why aren't we actually coalescing together to provide quality, trusted resources that aren't preying on these single moms and their families' vulnerabilities? So,
Mm,
whether it is for family law attorneys, behavioral health care, just self care, image makeover. Maybe they need a quality plumber or electrician or mechanic, and they need to make sure that their kids feel safe in their homes. Um, some of them need housing, trusted care for their children, and the list goes on. So, this e
wow.
commerce site is now a marketplace where our mom warriors can go and not only get the trusted help and the services that they need, but also a way for them to actually join forces and come together, as our tagline says, helping mom warriors find their village one connection at a time.
Oh man, that is beautiful. That is so to me, in a nutshell, this sounds like a fantastic all-in-one resource for single moms that they can tap themselves into. Perhaps they didn't know such a venue existed. Maybe they moved in from out of state.
Right.
Maybe they're just, looking, they're kind of lost. And this would be like an all-in-one, one-stop shop type of solution.
Yep, you pretty much said it right there, X. I mean, it is a e-commerce marketplace, and rather than me being, this will date me a little bit, but the yellow pages for them, where I was providing those resources to them, it frees me up because they can go to the site, easily find what they need, and if they don't see it, our phone number is there. They can actually connect with us, send us a message, tell us what they are looking for, and we'll do our very best to find those resources for them. It's also a way for them to tell their story. So when you go into the actual Moms Matters, you can see a place on there where they can actually share their stories, their testimonials. Maybe they'll find a story in there that they can connect with that makes them feel like they're not so alone. Or, they've got a story that they'd like to be, to get out there and be able to share as well.
OMG. Yeah. So when we say this is a one-stop shop, she's not joking around, folks. There's so many ways to connect. There's so many ways to reach out if you need help. These guys are on the ready to extend their resources to you. So if you're listening to this now, or let this voice be with you in the future, there is help available right here in your own neighborhood. And Nancy, could you talk about the areas that well, first of all, let's talk about where this was founded. Specifically in, what part of the state are we talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're East Valley here in Queen Creek, but we are valley-wide, if that helps, here in Arizona.
Yep.
And if they actually go onto our site and they just kind of click through the different menu tabs, they can see a little bit about us, our story, how we came to be. If they want to be their own mom boss, there's a place on there where they can explore their own, mamapreneurship, as we call it. There's a place they can join our village if there are people that want to help. We've had moms that have actually gotten themselves into a better place now and now want to pay it forward. And that's an awesome testimony of the difference that we're making out in the community. There's a place, there's a blog. They can go and read stories there. There's little quips on there, poems, different things that, can bring about inspiration. Maybe they just need a good belly roll someday. They can go there and find that. And then also our marketplace where they can connect. We have a couple of events coming up too that we'd love to have them come and join us and just forget about the world for a little bit and come and enjoy, have some fun, meet some quality peeps, and and get away for a little bit and refresh.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Here at Excellent Solutions, we tend to focus not on the problem, but the solution. And that's why when I felt the inspiration to reach out to you and talk about this in this format, I thought it would lend itself to the absolute necessity that we are needing in this world, especially when you consider the culture and what's going on in the big world.
Yeah.
You oftentimes get I guess bogged down with all the negativity. But here we have something that represents the complete opposite. I love the light of this, and I know what stands behind it. I know what you stand for, and I know the foundation for which you are doing this. So I applaud you, and keep that train moving forward, my friend.
Absolutely.
So we talked a little bit about the who this is for. Let's talk a little bit about the why. Why now, and why Nancy's Closet?
Oof. Okay. Boy, you asked for it. Well, the old saying that it all starts in the home and that it takes a village to raise a child, right?
Yeah.
And I've been on both sides of divorce as a child and as a parent, more times than I'd like to recall. And we're bootstraps women. And we keep our noses to the grindstone. We actually don't really, get things for ourselves. We put ourselves on the back burner. But when it comes to single parent living, Xavier, Arizona has one of the highest poverty rates in the U.S., with roughly 1 in 5 Arizonans living in single parent dwellings. And one can only imagine the daily struggles that moms face as they try to parent and provide for their children. So that said, I mean, they spend so much of their time when they're not actually providing income for their families, finding resources, ways to not have too much month at the end of the money. And it leaves no time for anything else, no downtime, let alone social connections. So we're hoping that in doing what we're doing out there and providing these resources, being that village for them, we can free up some of that time for them, allow them to then spend more quality time, with their children, and actually just have some social connections and a better quality of life overall.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I think we definitely need more of this to be taking place, and I think that's a beautiful thing that you took that on as your mission, because you've been at this for a while, and I love, like they say, I love what you've done with the place.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right, right. So we're going to put a pause on this right now because we have to pause for station identification, and have to let you know that this broadcast segment is brought to you by our friends at PowerPlate. So stay tuned for this quick commercial, and we'll be right back in 2 and 2.
That's awesome.
Right? I love that. So now let's talk a little bit about, let's get right back into the conversation. And the question I had for you right now is, we talked about the who, the what, the where, and the why just a little bit. But for me and my curiosity's sake, do you have any events that might be taking place or coming up in the near future?
Boy, do we. And you've been part of these, so you know how crazy they get. And
Oh,
it's
yes.
crazy fun, right? So we
Right.
we don't pull out all the stops when we do these events. Yes.
Love
And
it.
if it helps our audience to know too, Xavier, these events that we put on are multifaceted. They are not just a way to bring the community together to support, our local business owners. They're also fundraisers. And we do this because in order to be able to provide these services for our moms, if they're in a financial pinch and they need help, our foundation's goal is to be able to offset those costs for them. So the upcoming events that we have that are slated for the remainder of this year, we have our 9th annual community pumpkin and carving party. Eat, drink, and be scary. That's on Wednesday, October 25th. And I can actually send you the QR codes for those if you would like, that they can actually scan and register for that.
Yes.
We have, and then that's October. November, we have our fall sip and shop. It's sip, shop, and mingle the night away with fall-inspired cocktails, mocktails, tea tails, and desserts in a luxury elevated salon setting. That's Friday, November 10th. And again, I can send you the deets for that.
Yes.
And then we have our outreach, which is our 2023 BLP, which stands for Bag Lady Project. And Christmas time season, and I know you've been part of that too.
Yes.
We deliver gently used or brand new couture and designer handbags filled full of valuables and pampering items for single moms that have to work around the Christmas time season. This is our way of helping our moms to feel seen, valued, and celebrated.
I love it. I love it. This is, like I said, folks, I'm going to keep saying it because it bears repeating. This is a one-stop shop solution for all your needs, especially if you are someone that is in need. We got your back. Nancy's got your back. Tell us a little bit more about the whole idea. Where did Nancy's Closet begin?
Oh, okay. So it's funny you should ask, because yesterday I was asked to speak at a women's networking group, and I was asking them the question between another one of our organizations and Nancy's Closet. And when I said the first one, asked who knew about it, no hands. I think one hand raised.
Okay.
And then I asked about who's heard of Nancy's Closet. and multiple hands went up. My question was, do you know why that is? Because Nancy's Closet has a better story, and when we speak those bold narratives and we put them out there, our bold stories, and we own them. I mean, the people, relate to narratives, right? So Nancy's Closet was born out of a young girl that was sent to me, about 14 years old. And her dad was a single dad with 4 children, and said that his daughter was too embarrassed to tell me that she didn't have adequate clothing for school.
Oh boy.
And instantly triggered me because it reminded me of my past and when I was her age and what I went through. When you're 14 years old and you're on that cusp between childhood and womanhood, I mean, and your self-esteem is just being developed and you don't have, proper necessities and the base for basic needs. And kids are cruel and it can be really humiliating. And so I know what that was like. And I had a second mom, I call her, in the small town that I lived in, that came alongside me and kind of helped fill that gap for me so that I could show my face with dignity and not have to deal with those types of social, embarrassments. Yeah, and awkwardness and embarrassments. So I just took her to my closet and my personal closet. And we took a 50-gallon black bag into my closet. And I said, I only have one rule. Don't tell me you like something if you don't like it, because I wear everything in here. And by the time we were done, Xavier, we had this giant bag put together full of clothes and coats and shoes and things for her to take home. And so that she could actually feel confident, when she was at school, she was at events. And it got me thinking, why aren't more people doing this? And so I started doing research and finding out that there's a lot of red tape. There is a lot of hoops that people have to jump through in order to demonstrate a need for them to have something. And my mindset is, if we moved out to Queen Creek to do community with people, why aren't more people reciprocating community kind of in a stone soup, way, the way that we did when our forefathers first, came here to this country, right? So Nancy's Closet was born, and it was a way to reciprocate community with people. And whether it was an actual organization in need, whether it was Arizona foster care or veterans or suicide prevention or halfway houses or, single moms, whatever that looked like, we wanted to be able to provide it on a as needed basis for them. As we know, people will be more receptive to taking when they have something to contribute. So it was a take what you need, leave what you give what you can type of mindset. We had a basket downstairs. We didn't look, we didn't judge. For instance, I once had a mom that came shop. She brought her 17-year-old daughter who was expecting, and she had just rescued her out of a difficult situation from Mississippi, had brought her back here to Arizona to live with her. And we had just gotten in a ton of Torrid clothing from a local retailer. And by the time she was done, we had loaded up like 8 bags full of stuff for this mom. And I remember the mom reaching into her pocket and, whatever she had, it was maybe $6 and some change, I think later when we counted. And that's all she had. And it reminds me of the story in the Bible, about, the woman that actually went up for the offering, and the Pharisees were all, dropping in their giant coins and they wanted to be seen. But yet this woman walked up and she gave all she had. It wasn't much, but it was all she had. And she gave with a glad heart. And that's the one that was noticed. So that was the model that we adopted. And we did a lot of good as a result of, like I said, for nearly 9 years. But where the common denominator was that every time that these shoppers would come to our house to look for things, for themselves or for a loved one, the common denominator is that they were mostly single moms that were coming to me, and I was ministering to them and finding out that the need was much greater than clothing. So as a result, last year we rebranded And now what we do is we coalesce with other organizations and we donate the clothing to them. And as a result, they then provide discounts at their local thrift shops for these moms and their kids to shop at. So I think
Wow.
it's a triple win.
Oh my gosh, you telling me, Nancy, this it sounds to me like this has become bigger than just a passion project.
Uh, Bigger than our wildest dreams of what we could have ever have imagined, Xavier. I mean, when we did those first two events, earlier this year as a test kitchen, we had no idea the outcry that we were going to
Wow.
get as a result.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know what, Nancy? We have come to a 20-minute segment, and there is so much more that we can dive into, which means you might have to come back on the show very soon.
Love
So,
us. Want to talk about?
yeah, right. So before we go, Nancy, what is it that you would want the community and the world at large to know about you or the organization? This is your time.
Mm. Yeah, thank you for asking. I always tell people that whatever God places on your heart, I mean, if you feel this is your calling, but there is
Mhm.
always something you can do.
Yeah.
Whether it is if you at minimum, the very minimum, share our events with others because the more we get the word out, the more families we can help. Uh,
Yeah.
if you want to do more, you can attend. If you want to do more than attend, you can volunteer. If you want to do more than that, you can donate. And at the very most, you can certainly pray. We ask for people to pray over what we're doing because I'm a firm believer in the power of prayer. So
Yes.
there's always something that someone can do to truly make a difference. And our motto is, as you've heard me say, several times, together we can make a difference.
That is absolutely true, folks. And you have made it quite easy for people to get in contact with you. That was my next question, but it's right here on the website. If you want to visit nancysclosetaz.com, you will see their number right there up in the upper right hand corner, 480-447-9167. And I will actually put that in the show notes. And once we get this put back out there in the world, they will find it even easier to get connected to you and what you have going on. How's that sound, Nancy?
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Well, there you have it, folks. We have come to the end of. We got to the station where we needed to be. Thank you so much, Nancy, for giving us your time and sharing your vision with us. And I will do my part to spread that energy out into the universe because this is something that we all need, and I'm only glad to be a part of it. Well,
Thank
thanks,
you.
folks. You know what? Before I leave you, I just want to make sure I remind you that it's cost $0 to be nice to someone. So let's just choose to do that. Nancy, I want to thank you again for being on the show. I need to find my moniker so I can sign off, and we will definitely have to have you back on. But for now, I want to thank you and go forward and be excellent on purpose, folks. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.
All right.
Stay right
Yes.
there, Nancy.